Hey everybody, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio, back in the studio today to tell you the story of Space Thumb. In 2006, the three original members of Gravity Raincoat, Tom McKinney on bass, Shannon Murdoch on drums, and myself, Grady, on guitar, reformed to record the Space Thumb EP. This was actually my idea because I had put together a pretty good studio in the back of my house at the time. I had an MCI JH16 24-track 2-inch tape machine and a Soundtrax Topaz, I think it was the Project 8 version of the Topaz 24-channel. I had those two pieces of equipment, as well as some good outboard gear and a lot of good microphones, and I needed someone to help me test it out. So I called my old buddies from back in the barn days in the early 90s from Gravity Raincoat and asked the guys if they wanted to get back together to make a short project. Shannon was only able to come to the recording sessions for Space Thumb for one day. So the 4 tracks that feature him on Space Thumb were all cut in the same day, and they are, as far as I know, the last recordings of his drumming. I'm pretty sure Shannon was using his white Mapex drum kit for the Space Thumb sessions, and I would have been using a combination of SM57s on toms and snare, probably had a Sennheiser 421 on at least the floor tom, and I believe I used Audio-Technica AT Pro 37R microphones for overheads on Shannon's drum kit. Tom at the time had one of the small portable Gallion-Kruger bass amps, and I believe we used that as well as a DI signal on his bass. Now Tom also, you'll notice when you listen to Space Thumb on some of the tracks, there's a lot of synth sounding things, and Tom was using a micro bass synth. I believe it was an Electro Harmonix micro bass synth, and that was used pretty extensively on Space Thumb, at least on one of the tracks. Hey, here's a clip from Space Thumb. This is from the 3rd track on Space Thumb. This is Tom with the micro bass synth. Again, Space Thumb was recorded using an MCI JH16 24-track, and I believe we used a reel of Ampex 456, probably used tape that I had bought. And I was using a 1971 Fender Twin Reverb. Most likely I had that mic'd with an SM57, and I did have a Great River, one of the single channel Great River mic preamps, and I'm pretty sure that would have been used on at least the guitar tracks and the vocal tracks. That MCI JH16 was sold to my friend Travis Atkinson, who has Strange Bird Recording in Iowa, and Travis and I have been friends ever since. In fact, he's one of the people that suggested making a video about the making of Space Thumb, as the Space Thumb EP is the only time I ever used the MCI 2-inch machine in my studio. So the machine was sold to Travis, and it's had a fantastic home ever since. Travis tells me it's been used on a lot of really cool recording projects since he's owned it. So the initial tracking for the Space Thumb EP was done in one day with Tom, Shannon, and I in my little home studio. I finished up with some overdubs and the mixing later on. I believe it was finished in May of 2007. Let's see what the liner notes say. The basic tracks for this EP were recorded in one day. The Space Thumb EP was recorded October 2006. So the original tracking sessions for the Space Thumb EP were done to tape in October of 2006. And the liner notes state March 2007 and May 2007, so those months are likely when I was finishing minor overdubs and doing the final mixes for the Space Thumb EP. All that's in the liner notes, except this is unreleased. I have it and you can't have it, because this isn't available anymore. So of course I'm not going to talk all about Space Thumb and not play any of it for you. Again, this is unreleased, and I don't know that it's ever going to be released again. It's kind of why Gravity Raincoat is legendary. So we have our choice of destinations here on the back of the Space Thumb CD. I played a clip of Bad Exchange in the last video, the Legend of Gravity Raincoat. I also played the guitar solo section from I Call Myself Bunglethorpe Part 2. I'm going to play you an example of some of the more experimental side of Gravity Raincoat. This is part of a song on Space Thumb called Stun Gun. This features Tom making all kinds of strange sounds with the bass, and then I'm playing some guitar. We're using all different kinds of effects pedals. I couldn't even really remember what all we did, but this is a clip from the song Stun Gun from Space Thumb. I talked about the song I Call Myself Bunglethorpe in the last video, and I played the guitar solo section of I Call Myself Bunglethorpe Part 2 from the Space Thumb EP. So now I'm going to play you a clip of the beginning of the song instead of denying Bunglethorpe or something. So that was a little bit the beginning, I guess, of I Call Myself Bunglethorpe Part 2 from Gravity Raincoat Space Thumb. A couple more things about Space Thumb. Before I go, I wanted to read you some of the stuff we put in the liner notes, just like on the first cassettes that we made back in school. We put some funny things in the liner notes. Tom McKinney, bass synth, noises, sampling, and eye-chatting. I guess Tom was really into iChat in 2006. Shannon Murdoch, drums, percussion, and audio cartography. Sounds like something Tom put in there. Grady Trishlet, guitar synth, weird noises, and the voices, because I sang on this. And here in our thanks to list, Gravity Raincoat would like to thank those who've been here from the beginning, those who will be there until the end. Band members past and present, families and friends, the Blue Goldfish, which is something, if you saw the first video in the end credits, I thank the Blue Goldfish. That's what we did on the first two cassettes as well, so it's just kind of a running joke. The Mayhaw Prophets, Biff Bobney and the Biffettes, Steve Sadler, the MCI tech, who also sadly passed away last year. Steve helped out at the studio He did phone support for that MCI JH16 that this record was recorded on, and it was with Steve's help that I was able to get that machine up and running and keep it tuned up and make something like Space Thumb. We also thank the letter Q Sundays, Fridays, and Tuesdays. And this release is free from corporate greed, apparently. And then we've got some stuff about saving animals here at the bottom. And there's the back of it. Can you see that? Is that good? Can you see that? Space Thumb will always be special to me because it was with Gravity Raincoat that I started my recording experiences in the analog world using the 4-track, and I guess it's only appropriate that the last major project I ever did using analog equipment was Space Thumb, also with Gravity Raincoat. It's also special to me since it was the last recording that Shannon Murdoch ever performed on, and he did an excellent job in just one day that it took us to make this EP. His drumming is just as solid as it ever was, and we basically learned those songs. I think we had done a little bit of pre-writing. Tom and I had maybe sent some tracks back and forth to each other, and maybe some things were sent to Shannon, but still, being able to come in and lay down tracks as solid as appear on Space Thumb is a miraculous thing, and he was just such an amazing drummer. So again, my hat's off to Shannon. It's a tribute to your drumming skills that this EP that we made in a single day sounds as good as it does. I hope you enjoy learning about the Space Thumb EP from Gravity Raincoat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to be informed about future videos on this channel, and make sure you have an excellent day, night, weekend, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, whatever it is you're having, have a good one.